Act 4 of The Seagull by Anton Chekhov. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 4. A sitting room in Sorin's house, which has been converted into a writing room for Treplieff. To the right and left are doors leading into inner rooms, and in the centre is a glass door opening onto a terrace. Besides the usual furniture of a sitting room, there is a writing desk in the right-hand corner of the room. There is a Turkish divan near to the door on the left, and shelves full of books stand against the walls. Books are lying scattered about on the window-sills and chairs. It is evening. The room is dimly lighted by a shaded lamp on a table. The wind moans in the tree-tops and whistles down the chimney. The watchman in the garden is heard sounding his rattle. Medviedenko and Masha come in.
Mr. Constantine, where are you?
Looking about her.
There's no one here. His old uncle is forever asking for Constantine and can't live without him for an instant.
He dreads being left alone.
Listening to the wind.
This is a wild night. We have had this storm for 2 days.
Turning up the lamp.
The waves on the lake are enormous.
It is very dark in the garden. Do you know, I think that old theatre ought to be knocked down. It is still standing there, naked and hideous as a skeleton, with a curtain flapping in the wind. I thought I heard a voice sweeping in it as I passed there last night.
What an idea.
Come home with me, Masha.
Shaking her head.
I shall spend the night here.
Do come, Masha. The baby must be hungry.
Nonsense. Matryona will feed it.
It is a pity to leave him 3 nights without his mother.
You are getting too tiresome. You used sometimes to talk of other things besides home and the baby, home and the baby. That's all I ever hear from you now.
Come home, Masha.
You can go home if you want to.
Your father won't give me a horse.
Yes, he will. Ask him.
I think I shall. Are you coming home tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow.
She takes snuff. Treplieff and Paulina come in. Treplieff is carrying some pillows and a blanket, and Paulina is carrying sheets and pillowcases. They lay them on the divan, and Treplieff goes and sits down at his desk.
Who's that for, Mother?
Mr. Sorin asked to sleep in Constantine's room tonight.
Let me make the bed.
She makes the bed. Paulina goes up to the desk and looks at the manuscripts lying on it.
Well, I'm going. Goodbye, Masha.
He kisses his wife's hand.
Goodbye, Mother.
He tries to kiss his mother-in-law's hand.
Be off, in God's name!
Treplieff shakes hands with him in silence, and Medviedenko goes out.
No one ever dreamed, Constantine, that you would one day turn into a real author. The magazines pay you well for your stories.
She strokes his hair.
You have grown handsome, too. Dear, kind Constantine, be a little nicer to my Masha.
Still making the bed.
Leave him alone, Mother.
She is a sweet child. A woman, Constantine, asks only for kind looks. I know that from experience.
Treplieff gets up from his desk and goes without a word.
There now, you have vexed him. I told you not to bother.
I am sorry for you, Masha.
Much I need your pity.
My heart aches for you. I see how things are and understand.
You see what doesn't exist. Hopeless love is only found in novels. It is a trifle. All one has to do is to keep a tight rein on oneself and keep one's head clear. Love must be plucked out the moment it springs up in the heart. My husband has been promised a school in another district, and when we have once left this place, I shall forget it all. I shall tear my passion out by the roots.
The notes of a melancholy waltz are heard in the distance.
Constantine is playing. That means he is sad.
Masha silently waltzes a few turns to the music.
The great thing, Mother, is not to have him continually in sight. If my Simon could only get his remove, I should forget it all in a month or 2. It is a trifle.
Dawn and Medviedenko come in through the door on the left. wheeling Sorin in an armchair.
I have 6 mouths to feed now, and flour is at 70 kopecks.
A hard riddle to solve.
It is easy for you to make light of it. You are rich enough to scatter money to your chickens, if you wanted to.
You think I am rich? My friend, after practicing for 30 years, during which I could not call my soul my own for 1 minute of the night or day, I succeeded at last in scraping together 1,000 roubles, all of which went, not long ago, in a trip which I took abroad. I haven't a penny.
To her husband.
So you didn't go home after all?
How can I go home when they won't give me a horse?
Would I might never see your face again.
Sorin, in his chair, is wheeled to the left-hand side of the room. Paulina, Masha, and Dawn sit down beside him. Medviedenko stands sadly aside.
What a lot of changes you've made here. You've turned the sitting room into a library.
Konstantin likes to work in this room, because from it he can step out into the garden to meditate whenever he feels like it.
The watchman's rattle is heard.
Where's my sister?
She has gone to the station to meet Trigorin. She will soon be back.
I must be dangerously ill if you had to send for my sister. A nice business this is. Here I am dangerously ill, and you won't even give me any medicine.
What shall I prescribe for you? Chamomile tea, soda, quinine?
Don't inflict any of your discussions on me again.
He nods towards the sofa.
Is that bed for me?
Yes, for you, sir.
Thank you.
The moon swims in the sky tonight.
I am going to give Constantine an idea for a story. It shall be called The Man Who Wished, L'Homme qui a voulu. When I was young, I wished to be an author. I failed. I wished to be an orator. I speak abominably, with my eternal and all, dragging each sentence on and on until I sometimes break out into a sweat all over. I wished to marry, and I didn't. I wished to live in the city, and here I am ending my days in the country and all.
You wish to become state councillor, and you are one.
I didn't try for that. It came of its own accord.
Come, you must admit that it is petty to cavil at life at 62 years of age.
You are pig-headed. Can't you see I want to live?
That is futile. Nature has commanded that every life shall come to an end.
You speak like a man who is satiated with life. Your thirst for it is quenched, and so you are calm and indifferent. But even you dread death.
The fear of death is an animal passion which must be overcome. Only those who believe in a future life and tremble for sins committed can logically fear death. But you, for one thing, don't believe in a future life, and for another, you haven't committed any sins. You have served as a councillor for 25 years. That is all.
28 years.
Treplieff comes in and sits down on a stool at Sorin's feet. Masha fixes her eyes on his face and never once tears them away.
We are keeping Constantine from his work.
No matter.
Of all the cities you visited when you were abroad, Doctor, which one did you like the best?
Genoa.
Why Genoa?
Because there is such a splendid crowd in its streets. When you leave the hotel in the evening and throw yourself into the heart of that throng and move with it without aim or object, swept along hither and thither, their life seems to be yours. Their soul flows into you, and you begin to believe at last in a great world spirit, like the one in your play that Nina Zarechная acted. By the way, where is Nina now? Is she well?
I believe so.
I hear she has led rather a strange life. What happened?
It is a long story, Doctor.
Tell it shortly.
She ran away from home and joined Trigorin, you know that.
Yes.
She had a child that died. Trigorin soon tired of her and returned to his former ties, as might have been expected. He had never broken them, indeed, but out of weakness of character had always vacillated between the two. As far as I can make out from what I have heard, Nina's domestic life has not being altogether